kind of there,
Yeah.
but I didn't see you. So I'm like talking away, da da da, and I get a message. Yeah, I've left the meeting. I'm like, oh, so I'm just watching myself on my iPad like an idiot.
Yeah, I was pretty gone there. I don't know what happened.
Hey, it happens, man. Happens to the best of us.
That was a weird thing.
It was.
And
It
it didn't
was.
have anything
We
to
made
do
it
with me.
through it. We came out on top.
It it
Everything's good.
it didn't even have anything to do with me smoking any weed because it wasn't even buzzed at that point. That's the funny part about. But we were saying like Murphy's Law is like
Mhm.
that whole thing that happens, right? Shit happens. When shit happens, it's gonna happen no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and shit does happen.
Oh man,
Um,
does it?
so we're gonna spin some tunes tonight.
Okay.
And this is a tune off your first album. And now I got a question for you. We were talking about this the other night, right?
Yeah.
So this is Shane Sawyer from Coaching For Sara, and they're from London, Ontario, Canada. And we were talking about some of your recordings and stuff you guys have been listening to. You and Lars are the
Right.
co-producers, right?
Yeah. That's right. We're kind of
So
doing it all ourselves.
yeah, so you guys are like listening to tracks and going. Um, of course, Lars has been listening to him even more than you, probably, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. Lars is the one behind doing all the behind the scenes stuff for sure. Like he's mixing it down and editing it and everything else. So what we've decided to do, like it's been we've been working on this for a while, because what it came down to is our original recordings of these songs. These people were just, it was bad recordings. We were really rushed. We weren't in an actual studio. We were at a practice room. So we didn't have that time to really make it work, like get a good recording. It was like, okay, hit record, that's good enough. On we go to the next song. And it's been a real struggle, because if you don't have a solid, good recording, original recording, you're going to go through hell trying to get editing. Plus, it's a learning curve for us because neither one of us are engineers. Like we go in, plug in and play and hit record, right? Like we're not ones to do that. However, over the last 3 years, we have become that, especially Lars. He's learned a lot. So listening back to these songs, I mean, making them as good as we possibly could with the recordings we had. And they do sound good. Like they're pretty good for a DIY project, right? But Lars, it was actually Lars who decided. He contacts me. He goes, dude, we're doing this whole EP over. So we're going to be recording the whole thing over again. Every
so it's
like
completely
five
re-recorded.
song EP. What's that? Sorry.
So completely re-recorded.
Yeah. So all new drums. I'm actually going to be drumming on these ones. And yeah, we've got a really awesome spot to get some really good drum acoustics. So I'm excited about that. And then yeah, we're re-recording the whole thing.
So he's not
Um,
happy. He's not happy with the signal that was actually going into the mixes. Then.
yeah, so like he had to do a lot of editing with the drum sounds
Right.
and our guitar tones. Like the guitar tones weren't as bad. It was mostly the drums, because we felt really rushed to do those.
Okay.
Because guitars you can kind of just plug in, add effects, whatever, if you
Yeah.
have to.
Right.
Where drums, it kind of has to be live off the floor.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't good. So we are changing a lot of things around. So we're basically looking at kind of basing the sound and everything else around the drums at this point. Like we're building ourselves from the drums up, sort of
So
thing.
so
So
this actually should sound better than the tracks you've sent me then.
oh yeah, absolutely, hands down, these will be better, because
So
not on top of us doing new recordings and actually taking our time getting a good quality recording. Lars has learned so much with the editing process. So we're going to keep it down to a minimum of editing if we can.
right.
um, and then that way, if less editing he has to worry about, plus with the knowledge he already has, it won't take as long to get a good
Right.
recording through.
So here's
So,
an interesting thing that I learned about my DAW, and it took me probably 2 years to really get a good grip on the implications of the input.
yeah, yeah,
Because your input signal is everything.
yeah, absolutely.
Now
It's all,
now
and I mean, when you're first starting too, I mean, a lot of it is trial and error, right? Because you're always going to come across something that needs an editing. of some sort, or something screwed up here or whatever, and you don't know how to fix it. So it's a lot of like, thank God if he's watching tonight, Ryan Spong, man, you're a godsend with my stuff, because studio, and that's what I use. He told me to download it, so I did that, and he has it as well. So he's had it for a long time, so he knows a lot more than I do. So he's helped me out so much with that stuff. Like,
so when you think about one of the things that I found out about my DAW was your input signal has to be really like super good, right?
Yeah.
And on my DAW, the ideal is -16, somewhere between -16 and -18 dB.
Oh, really?
You don't want to push it up to the flat, because when you start changing things, start putting compression and all those other things on it, right?
Right.
And you decide you want to boost volumes of certain tracks, you've got to have headroom.
That's just it. Like, with this, well, at least what I'm doing, I'm not sure what Lars' DAW system is, but I'm using FL Studios, but we're basically throwing tracks back to each other. With me, I don't want to, because if I try to put an effect or whatever, a plug-in effect or something on the guitar, it can really bring your CPU up. It really eats it up. And so I try to play either just directly through my amp for my distortion, a clean channel with no effects through my interface, right? And then if I want, I can still add effects to that clean track. And that way, like, because sometimes in your CPU slot, you try to play it back, it's just all choppy, right? It's all like stops and does weird things if your CPU uses too much. So yeah, so that's what I do anyway. But
what process you guys actually did your very, very first album?
Mm-hmm.
You guys recorded it and produced it yourselves as well, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we had a lot of help with producing, mixing and mastering. Goes all to our friend Greg Kerrigan. Awesome dude. He was our drummer for my cover band, the Ultrasounds. And so we recorded everything in off of a Zoom R16. So it's like a kind of mini studio thing. Awesome machine too. And we recorded on an electric drum kit. It was a good quality electric drum kit, but electric drum kit nonetheless, right?
Right.
So I drummed on the songs, but you could tell it was an electric drum kit.
Sure.
So when Greg took these songs to help us mix and master them, because he had the tools, and plus he's got a great ear. He actually took my drum parts, and I mean, it's still me drumming and everything, but he actually took his drum samples of his own drum kit that he recorded and replaced them.
Right.
So I'm hitting a snare or whatever, doing a roll on a snare. Yeah, that's me doing the roll, but instead of it sounding like an electric drum snare, it's a real snare. So he did this for every, like, the amount of work he did on this album was just incredible.
So you're triggering, you're actually triggering samples then.
Yeah, well, that's what he did. He had samples of his own drum kit. Right. It sounded great. And then he would replace the electric drum kit sound with that.
Okay,
but
so
every hit.
Let's spin a track. We're going to spin These People.
Okay.
And tell us about These People. What's it about?
All right. So These People, it's the first song on our album. And it was inspired by actually a London artist, Joe Borowski. Him and I worked together at TD. Maybe I shouldn't have said that, but we worked at a bank. And
a bank that shall be not named.
So I remember though, like Joe was the type that always wanted, and he is today, doing music and just music in some way, shape, or form. That's his passion. That's what he wants to make a living out of. So he worked with me there, and we were talking one day about it, and he said he was giving his 2 weeks notice. He was going full-time musician, and he had a music lessons, and he already had, like, people lined up to be in his class. And I thought that was just incredible. And he goes to me, he goes, talking about the corporate types, he goes, "These people," he goes, "they just don't get it."
These people. Okay, so right now,
so that's why if you listen to the words, it's kind of these people or those people.
Right.
It's the difference between the free spirited, follow your dreams type and the tight ass corporate people.
Right.
So you've got that kind of difference between the two in this song, and that's where that was inspired from, this show.
So that song could be timely right now down in the U.S., right?
Oh man, there are so many songs that could be used in the U.S. right now.
There's a lot of application to that song.
Yeah.
So what I've done right now, I've just
Facebook's going all weird. Is it going weird?
Is it? Yeah. You're looking like Max Headroom.
Well, what's going on? Why is that?
Probably my resources are stretched to the limit. Yeah, I know. Hey, fuck, eh?
Well, that's no good. Oh, it looks like I'm coming back though.
Yeah, you are. It's just lagging once in a while.
But it's weird because I don't see you anywhere on this. I just see.
Okay, wait a minute. You'll see me in a second. Just stay where you are. I'm gonna flip it down there. We'll put it back. We'll get back to the gallery view. There, can you see me now?
Not on Facebook.
You will in a minute. I switched the camera view just on you.
Oh,
you didn't see it. When you said, I was thinking there's something wrong. Yeah, there we go. That's funny. That's funny. Smoke another one.
You smoke another one.
All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to that view again because that's the speaker's view. I had the speaker view, and if you look up in the right hand corner, you'll see me there.
Oh.
See me there on the right hand corner of the screen? Watch, I'll move myself around.
There you are. I see you now. Hey, you're like Captain America.
Yeah. Okay, I'm up now on my screen. I'm up to your left.
Yep.
Right?
You are.
And
you are.
So I could look down at you and say, Shane.
You're moving.
Shane.
Hey.
That's cool. Okay.
Now I'm stuck, I think.
So we're going to flip off of this. We're going to go back to the gallery view. Here we go. And I'm going to spin your first track called These People.
Sure.
Maybe, I don't know. Do you have the option of muting your camera and your mic momentarily?
My camera and my mic momentarily.
Yeah.
I can try on my iPad, like where we're doing Zoom right now.
Well, yeah. On Zoom, can you mute everything for a minute?
Yeah, just give me a second here.
If you mute it, then I'm gonna mute. Well, maybe you know what? Just leave it for now. As long as your microphone's you're not playing back a sound source while we're doing this, we shouldn't get a feedback loop. Okay.
Okay.
Let's try it. This is called These People. We'll see how this goes. Keeping my fingers crossed.
And it goes.
Yeah.
Those people have to wait in line. These people having the time of their lives. Those people wanna settle down. These people wanna get around. Get around. Get around.
Still there?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. I can't hear the song.
Those people just don't understand. These people know what's in demand. Those people wasting all their time. These people wasting all their minds.
Get my water.
All the time. Out of their minds.
Yeah.
Don't want it. Don't need it. Don't want to try and disclose it. Don't want to repeat it. Don't want to put up with
So funny
bullshit.
watching
some screaming feedback on the end of that tune. Shane, I'm going to get you to unmute your microphone there, dude. I kind of muted it. There we go. I muted it while we were kind of in the
Holy
song.
crap, we actually got sent again without the hassle.
All right.
Yeah.
So I just muted your microphone. I get the power to mute you, but I can't unmute you. You have to unmute yourself. How do you like that?
I kind of like that. Because you can try to shut me up and no.
I can be almost like Facebook. I can can shut you up, but only as long as you want to be shut up for.
That's right. That's right.
only Facebook can permanently shut you up, but just by shutting you down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I know.
So
they have a lot of control, those people.
They do. These people.
Segue.
All right. So I don't know. We're going to go. Do you want me to go? I was going to go a few tracks in, and then what I thought we might do, because we're probably not going to get through the whole album tonight.
Yeah, right.
So
we have some issues.
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe there's like a part 2 to this.
To what?
To do
this meeting tonight.
Yeah, to do
Absolutely.
this. Yeah,
because it'll take us at least another week to figure out how to get connected again. So same time next week, then we'll start tomorrow.
You and I are technologically challenged to some degree, aren't we?
Oh, like yeah. I should win an award of how challenged I am.
You
really.
and me. It took me like eons just to figure out, all my stuff. Now, mind you, I'm chief cook, bottle washer. I do a little bit of everything here because I'm trying to produce the show. I'm trying to run our Zoom chat, and I'm trying to cue music, and then trying to switch screens to make sure that they don't catch you or I picking our noses or anything like that.
Don't want that.
Yeah,
it's not easy, but you know what? We learn from it.
Yeah, it's a learning. The thing is that it makes it a little bit more fun and challenging after you've smoked one or two.
Oh, everything's more challenging.
Because you're in that like I just want to have fun mode, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm in the let's have a fun, being in the fun mode kind of thing. Share some music, and then once in a while things kind of get fuckety. Excuse my French, but they do.
Boy, you can.
There's no other way to describe it.
No, we were talking about that. It's like, you ever think like, why is this happening to me right now?
Yeah.
Because the type of day you can have, right? Like, right. Yeah. And when it comes to technology, that happens a lot because you just sit there and go, why would this be happening?
Right. If the military can
use... I didn't do it on the computer.
Okay, if the military can use the term clusterfuck.
Right.
The military has used that term, right? FUBAR, right? All that stuff, right? So why can't we say that something is fuckety?
I don't know. It should be a word.
Well, it should be, because fuckety just means things are awry, things are off, they're not working right.
They're messed up for no apparent reason.
There you go. Things messed up for no apparent reason.
Reason.
Okay, so if we were to put it in Webster's dictionary, we could say fuckety, the meaning for fuckety is...
Or we could do an acronym, like what would that be? Things messed up, TMU, for no apparent reason.
Yeah, fuckety means things messed up for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Because they're just fuckety.
Yeah.
They're just totally fuckety. Yeah. I like
that. What's wrong with guitar? I don't know, it's fuckety.
Yeah. It has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with the guitar player.
No, never. I think I can speak on behalf of all guitar players. Yeah, we're perfect, right, guys?
Oh, we got our shit together. All right, so we're gonna spin another tune off there. I'm gonna go in kind of like in order.
Okay, sure. Look Around, is that the next one?
You got it. So tell us a little bit about Look Around.
Yeah, this is more of our one of our popular tunes. I like this song. It's fun. It started off with, it was going to be a little darker, this song. The first line is what is it? look around, so dissecting your eyes, or dissecting with your eyes of Forest Green. Like that was the color of her eyes. And it was for started off with like how people judge and dissect you and in their mind, right? And what they think about you. But the tempo was like, the riff was really upbeat, and it kind of came across more like, no, I gotta stop being the one who's judging and dissecting people, because I can't say not for them not to do it if I'm doing it.
Right.
So then it started becoming kind of, it rolled into this more of a party tune, and I thought of like how everyone can just have a good time when we're all together.
Sure.
And so I thought of like Canada Day fireworks and on the beach, and just everyone on that same vibe of just fun. And that's why it was called originally Look Around. It's the first line of the song. But then it just was like, yeah, look around, look at what we got, look at how much fun we're having. And that's where that kind of came from.
Okay.
That.
All right. Well,
it's a fun song. It's fun.
So we're going to spin it, and I'm going to cue it up here. Whoa.
Okay.
I'm going to stop it there. So it's a very short song. It's 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of our songs are like Ramon short, like short songs for this album. Like I think our longest song is like 3 minutes on that album.
2 minutes 33 though. And here's the interesting thing. So I still get notifications from a radio station in California that's still playing your music regularly.
Nice.
Yeah, they're in Southern California, and I get notifications from. They're called Lonely Oak Radio.
Oh, Lonely Oak Radio. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I know. I get them on Twitter. I get their notification on Twitter all the time. It's awesome that they do that.
Yeah, because I've sent you a couple of the notifications, right?
Yeah.
And they're playing your stuff still. And there's a guy on there. His first name is Isidro, and he's got a station over in Spain called Only Rock Radio.
Okay.
You ever heard of him?
I've heard of, yeah.
I'll send you.
Do they have our stuff too, right?
Yeah, I'll send you a link to Isidro's page, and you can like it and follow him.
Yeah.
He's I've never talked to him directly, but I've chatted with him online.
Okay.
Right. And I do want to do a call with him sometime, and maybe even try and do a Skype interview or something like that, right?
That'd be so cool.
But I don't know how good his English is, because I think he primarily speaks Spanish.
Right. That might be a tough then.
Or he may speak Portuguese. I don't know. It's funny because friends of mine in Rio de Janeiro, their primary language there is Portuguese.
Oh, really?
I would have thought it would have been Spanish.
You would think it would be Spanish, right?
Right. So whether this guy is Spanish or whether he speaks Portuguese, I'm not sure. But I don't think his English is very good. But he supports a lot of the artists that work with me, like you guys. Dark Stone. Awesome. He plays Dark Stone's music. Who else has he been playing? Anything I send him, he puts it on repeat play. Now, some of the radio stations, they get your stuff and they play it a few times, and then once it's stale, they stop playing it.
Yeah.
Now some of them I know will put them on their servers, and that's but Lonely Oak and this guy that has Only Rock Radio, they're actually playing your songs on shows. That's awesome. Yeah, and I gotta talk to Isaac Banks over at Banks Radio.
In Australia.
Yeah, because when I first started doing this, and you guys came on board with me way long time ago, like 2016. Yeah. Was it 16 or 17? Well, right around that time, because I started Indie Tunes. Well, the beginning of Indie Tunes Records started in 2016, but somewhere along the line, you and I connected, and you were the one that convinced me to change my business model. Do you remember that? Yeah. Yeah, totally. No, I know, and because but it's been fun working with you, though, man. It's it's a good time. We have good talks. I remember you said to me when we first started, you said, you know what? You said, don't be like a traditional record label. don't be like the mainstream. And I'm like, well, how can I be not like the mainstream? And you said, give the artist a fair shake.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so what did I say to you? Remember what I said to you?
Right there. I think it was F off. No, I'm just kidding. No, you don't know what you're talking about, man. No, I think you, I don't know. I don't know the specific thing you said.
Right.
I remember that I had said like, like that's their creation. That's their art.
Yeah. Right.
And they should be making more than the person distributing it or the record label.
Right.
For their creation.
Right.
Especially if they're keeping the rights too.
Right.
Right.
So
I remember saying that to you.
I remember when I started doing this, I really didn't have a clue what I was doing.
Right. Yeah.
I really didn't. Because the reason I didn't have a clue what I was doing was because I looked at how mainstream music had done labels.
Right.
And I thought that was the way to set up a label in the independent world. I honestly,
that's it is like it's the way the world is now, especially with even pre-COVID with social media and everything else and YouTube and free streaming and things like that.
Right.
Things have to change, right? Like it can't be the old school way with the record labels.
Yep.
Because it comes down to your streams, right? Even if you're with a record label, if you're not getting the streams that they want and that publicity, it'll drop.
Exactly.
So, and then, it's such a oversaturated market on social media, right? Because everyone is, and I don't blame them. We're all in it together. We're all trying to reach the same goal, right? To do this sort of stuff for a living because we love it so much.
Yep.
But everyone and their uncle's doing it.
Everybody.
So it makes it tough, right? Like you've got to take your time, and this is another reason why we're doing this album over again too, is because you got to take your time because you can't half-ass it anymore if you want any sort of turning of heads or raising of eyebrows at all. No. Right. And it has to do with a lot with just your music. Because we can't even play live now, so we can't even really show them what musicians can't show what they're capable of live.
Exactly.
That's what sells the tickets.
You
can stream the songs for free anytime you want, but to see a live show, that's an experience, and that's fun, and that's where you really can shine and improve yourself. But no one can do it.
No.
It's literally where you're hoping to God just on your songwriting ability, the melody, whatever the niche may be, will sell or someone will pick up on it. That's right. All we can do as a musician is just do our, just keep writing and hope to God someone likes it.
Right. And the thing is that when you said to me, you said, don't be like a regular record label. When I initially started this, it was like, okay, if I double what the record labels normally provide the artists, but the thing that I didn't realize is that I was forming some kind of an unorthodox record label that didn't offer certain services that traditional record labels offer.
Right.
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 And so therefore, I'm not bankrolling you guys to go in the studio and record your music.
That's just it. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And I'm not like and with a traditional label, that would just be a bank loan anyway.
That's all it is, really.
Yeah.
And that's why if you get your loan from the record label, you can do pretty much whatever you want with it, put it towards the studio, put it towards distribution, advertisements, your producer, whatever, video. But the fact is, we've given you this to go towards your musical career. You owe it back.
Yeah, and a certain amount of that budget, which people don't realize, goes towards the label actually doing work on behalf of the artist, all the promos, getting out before the radio stations, right. All that other good stuff. And and they have much deeper pockets than somebody like me.
Well, that's just it. Like they send it. They're a big enough company. They can send someone out just to scout out bands.
Well,
and
I'm
then-
not. I'm not going to contact Spotify and pay them thousands of dollars to put your songs at the top of every playlist.
Don't get me started with the spot.
But a mainstream label can afford to do that.
I know.
It's
I
called.
know.
It's you know what they call it.
What?
You don't know what they call that?
Probably, but remind me.
Payola.
Payola. Well, yes.
Right. Payola never died. And that's the thing. People don't realize that payola is still alive. If you don't know what payola is, we'll talk about that on an upcoming show. But payola essentially was record labels paying to have radio
paying the DJs, or paying whoever to play their artists more.
There's story.
They're still doing that for sure.
There's stories of record execs or A&R guys going into studios and dropping 8 balls of cocaine on producers' desks to play their music.
The episode of WKRP?
Yeah.
When they brought that DJ in, and that's
really true. That's really true. That shit used to happen.
Carlson thought it was foot powder.
Yeah. It's just flour. It's just flour.
And he thought his foot was like asleep.
Exactly.
He found out it was coke.
God, that's funny. That's
that sort of shit happened, and it still happens, man.
So did we play Look Around yet at all?
No.
Okay, we're gonna play it right now. I'm gonna spin it. Can you mute from that end on your chat, or do you want me to mute you?
Yeah, I can mute it.
All right.
Here we go.
Good. All right, here we go. We're gonna go Look Around. Maybe. See if this launches. Here we go. All right, they let that ring out. That is Look Around. Did you see me moving you around on the screen, Shane?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm moving you around.
Not that you weren't doing it. I just somehow my Facebook.
I'm moving you around on the screen. And
I see it now.
I'm playing Where Is Waldo with you.
I see it now. That's hilarious.
I thought it'd be funny. Yeah, where's Waldo?
I feel like I'm like Superman's enemy out in space.
Hey, you aside from being, I'm glad you got the angle of the camera there. So
Right.
off to over your left shoulder.
Yeah. Whoa.
There's some
Oh, that
artwork.
right there.
There's some artwork there.
Yeah.
That's yours.
Yeah.
I recognized it.
Yeah. So I don't know how well you can see it, but over here, that's come a photo in the novel or the bio of Anthony Kiedis from Scar Tissue,
Right.
the novel. And then yeah, so that's just a photo I saw that I thought was kind of cool, and I decided to paint it black and white. And then
Right.
there's Spider-Man up here. That's actually
You painted that freehand?
Yeah, like I copied off of like another artist, a comic book artist.
Right.
And I just thought it was the coolest picture. So the original was on it was like acrylic on canvas, and it was about 6 feet long, about 4 feet high.
Right.
And yeah, it went missing, and it did. So anyways, long story short is I don't have the original anymore.
So the
But I
one on
took
the
a
left,
picture.
so the one on the left, the one near the front, yeah, no,
Right
the
there.
superhero one, right?
Yeah, so Spider-Man.
Is that
There's the Avengers is the next one over.
so? Is that the whole universe?
No, what it is. It's the Infinity War poster when it first came.
Okay.
That was the first poster. So, so yeah. So it was supposed to be. I was going to do for my son's 12th birthday,
Right.
and he's 15 now.
Right.
So it's not done.
Oh, well, it's coming good, man. It looks
Yeah,
great.
but I don't get to it. Like I don't like it is coming along for sure. But I mean, I still have like 9 characters left to do.
Right.
Like way too ambitious, man. Like that's what I do. I'm way
Well,
too
the thing
ambitious.
is,
So-
get it done. Get it
That's
done.
the shit. Yeah.
And that's an awesome legacy to leave, right? You're going to give that to your son, you said?
Yeah. So I'm going to get copies made of it.
Right.
And then I'm going to give the original to my son though.
Very cool.
And
Very
he'll
cool.
have, yeah. And then
get a
the
couple of
Spider-Man
get some
picture,
prints made.
picture. Yeah. And then I've got my brother's artwork too.
Right.
There.
Oh yeah, he does a whole bunch of rock
like a lot
icons,
of,
right?
Just iconic actors and musicians and even new ones, right? Like his newest one, he's working on David Grohl.
His name's Paul, right?
Paul, yeah.
Yeah.
He's an awesome artist.
I'd like to meet him, man. I'd love that.
You would love Paul. Very knowledgeable with.
Hey, think I can interview
anything entertainment, really, like music.
Hey,
he's a
Shane,
DJ, so he knows
Shane.
stuff. What?
We could get him on here one night, the 3 of us, and we could
Oh man, we'll never stop talking.
we could talk art one night.
Oh man, he would love that.
We could talk art one night.
I'll have him visit me here, and the 2 of us can just be here.
Right.
Oh yeah, that'd be fun. That would be fun.
We could definitely talk some art one night.
Yeah.
Like have him on live
just
here.
Music. He's extremely knowledgeable in music, so you could talk in music with him. Like not musicians wise, but like artists and producers, and all the names and songs. And yeah, man, like he was my muse for music growing up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like got me into Triumph and AC/DC and all these awesome bands.
So in the background right now, you won't hear it on your end unless you actually have an earphone. Now you could put a headphone on, an earphone on one ear, and listen to the Facebook broadcast. Now it's going to be 20-second delay though.
That's just it. Well, no, I've got my phone up here beside me.
Okay.
And then when you play a song, I just mute it on the camera
Right.
here and turn it up on Facebook. So there's a delay.
So right now, while you were talking about all that stuff with your brother, I in the background I'm playing Sister Won't.
Oh, okay.
And tell me a bit about Sister Won't. Tell me about this song.
There's no real. It's just basically about, a guy with a girl and her sister
Okay, I'm going to stop it there for a second because it played one part here, and I don't know if I quite heard all the words, but I'm going to play it again.
Okay.
A kick in the sack. What's that all about, man?
Well, you got to listen to the words that follow up to that, though.
A kick in the
That's
sack.
the thing.
It felt like a kick. It felt like a kick
in the sack.
Right. What felt like a kick to the sack?
Well, you got to listen to the words before it, though.
All right. I'm going to start it all over again and play it forward while we talk about it. Okay. So we're right at the very beginning of the track. It's 3 minutes and 14 seconds, and it's got a total reggae feel to it.
Yeah, completely different style.
Did somebody play congas on that?
Yeah, so Greg put those in himself for the conga drums and everything too, and he put in the little organ part and everything. That's what he does. He's a producer, right?
Right.
He adds things to make the song better.
So
right?
when he added those pieces into it, are they MIDI add-ons or actual recording?
They're MIDI add-ons. Yeah.
So the congas are MIDI add-ons.
Yeah.
Oh, they complement the drum.
He makes them sound so damn good. Like the guy was like, in my opinion, he was a genius. Like he could just do stuff.
Well, it's the way he put them in there. It sounds like the conga player is actually accenting whatever the drummer's doing.
I know, like that's what he would do.
Cool.
He would go in and because he's a drummer himself, right?
That helps. That helps.
So for him to know how to manipulate those drums into making it sound as live as possible, he would be the guy.
Well, you know, and here's the thing: your background, you're a drummer.
Yeah.
But you play guitar in this band.
I love the new stuff I'm doing now. Like outside of Coaching For Sara,
right?
Like I'm adding real drum samples, but they're drum samples nonetheless,
right?
But I'm having so much fun with it because, like you said, I'm a drummer at heart, so
right.
I like going in there and like making things like do a triplet here, but I have to put like the bass drum in a certain spot, the snare in a certain spot, and whatever to make that happen. But it's fun for me because I can kind of hear the drum beat in my head.
So it's funny because now is Dave Grohl somebody that you like?
Oh yeah, I'm a huge Grohl fan. Look at it, I'll show you. Hold on. Another one I'm working on. The Dave Grohl one here that I'm working on.
Oh, very cool.
And I did the colors from Wasting Light.
Okay.
From their album Wasting Light. That's why he's colored like that.
You drew that? You drew that?
That's the band, the rest of the band on his shirt.
Did you draw that freehand?
Well, so this is their album cover, Wasting Light.
Yeah.
And this picture's taken from it's a photograph from a news article.
I know, but are you drawing that? Are you drawing that freehand from the photograph?
I looked at it and I drew it, and then I started painting it and stuff too.
You did a great job on it, man. So
I gotta finish it though.
No, but when you do the outline for that picture, is that like freehand drawn?
Yeah. Like I don't that's not tracing. That's on canvas. So there's no tracing or anything. It's just me looking at something and drawing it.
So how do you know to get it in the right aspect ratio? Because the aspect ratio on that looks really good.
A lot of it is by eye, like just kind of comparing, like it literally is just eyeballing it, right? There are times though, you have to kind of line things up too,
right? Like
your cheekbones up here and your nose is like the way you're positioned. Your nose might be in the same area where your cheekbone ends, sort of thing. Like, so you kind of can line things up a little bit, but when it comes to like famous people,
right,
it's tough because you need the right. I find that everyone goes, "Oh, it's the eyes. That's how you can tell it's someone." I'm like, no, it's the jawline.
Yeah, you know the interesting.
Honestly, it's the jawline. Like
the interesting thing about
I'll change the jawline on someone. I'm like, it doesn't even look like this person. Blah. No, change the jawline just a little bit. I'm like, boom. Now it looks like.
I can draw stick men. Does that count?
Everyone has to have a start, Ken. Everyone has to have a start.
You know what? My drawing ability is like next to nil, man. I can't draw worth a shit. And it's funny. I really think that
neither can I. I pay someone. I just made all that up.
Yeah, bullshit. I think the thing is that as a visual artist, it takes a gift. There's a gift.
Yeah, like not every. Well, it's it's the same with a lot of things, though, man. Like, I mean, when anything comes to art, right? Everyone thinks of it as, well, it's a gift, and it is, like, yeah, but there are other people that can do crazy stuff that's not artistic that I wouldn't be able to do. You know what I mean?
But the thing
Like,
is, everybody's gift is different. That's the cool thing about
right.
it.
But some,
right?
but things like art, it is a harder subject to teach, right?
I gotta.
Either you have it or you don't to start off. But I mean, you know, because if you're someone who has it as a child or whatever, yeah, you might be better than the person starting to take lessons when they're in their 30s.
I
You know what
believe
I mean?
that there's a certain element that certain people possess that gives them a
Mhm.
leg up on somebody else. Somebody else has to work harder to get to that point.
Yeah,
Whereas,
for sure.
whereas someone who's an artist in the way that they approach things,
Right.
they're already to a certain level. Now they can take that talent or that gift and exploit it some more.
I think it also comes down to a person's ability to be creative, because a lot of the things that when you draw or you paint, you're looking at the picture kind of as a guide, but really you're using you've already thought out the picture in your head.
But that's what I'm saying.
And that's a creative process. You already know what it's going to be like on that. Now you just have to bring it from here into here and do it.
Right.
So
but what I'm saying is you're using all those senses to connect. And that what I'm saying is not everybody has those special senses to do all of that.
yeah, it's
right?
true.
Because an artist who can draw something in the correct aspect ratio,
Right.
the way I see it, they have to be able to see something that nobody else sees or that very few people see.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true though. Like, yeah, I can see what you're saying for sure.
And
I agree.
and they also have to have a desire to do it.
Well, that's just it. Like you want to, like, I've got so many projects like paint wise and drawing that I have not
Right.
finished. I'm just like,
I think
you
my
know?
thing is that to some degree, you know, a lot of things in my life have never come easy.
Right.
Right. So sometimes I have to do different things to create a quicker win for myself.
Yeah.
Right. So you draw things. That's a very long process, right?
It can be.
I like taking photographs of things and photographing things from angles that other people might not see it from.
Oh, and that's a whole creative, because once again, you see what you want in your head.
Right.
Now you just have to process it and make it work in the physical plane, right?
Yeah, but
And that's what happens when you put something. That's what happens when you put something on paper.
But I think my job's easier than yours, because all I got to do is focus the camera and click the shutter, and I've got the picture.
It may be easier, but at the same time, it can be a long process too, because to get that perfect shot, you could be like taking hundreds of photographs before you get that one shot. And it also comes down to, it is a faster process, but it's also a faster medium.
True that.
Right.
True that.
You still need that ability to have a good eye.
Definitely.
And make it happen. What you're trying to think out loud, right? Like
100% agreed.
You know.
Wow. Well, you know what, man? I love talking to you because it's really cool to talk about this stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna spin Sister Won't. Do you want me to put it in the background, or you want to take a little break from chat?
Oh, I don't. It doesn't matter to me, man. We can put it in the background.
All right, we'll throw it in the background.
Sure. Put it in the background.
All them little snare hits at the very beginning. Is he playing some kind of synthesizer in that too?
Yeah, it's like a harp.
Yeah.
Like this harp thing. Like he calls it the Bob Marley harp. Not a harp, but like a Hammond organ sort of thing.
What railroad track are you referencing?
None in particular. I just have this image of like of this guy just kind of thinking about taking the train out of town, and you know what I mean, that image kind of came across to me like this old railroad track that you just gonna hop a train and when it comes by, sort of thing.
So sister won't now that you won't, or now that you don't?
Now that you don't. So basically, it's about like a sister of he's with this girl, and the sister has this attraction to him, and he has an attraction to her a little bit, but they never cross that line.
Oh,
right?
okay.
But now that I've wronged her sister, right? There's no chance in hell it'll happen because don't come between me and my family, sort of thing.
Right.
So your sister won't now that you don't. So that's kind of where that came up with that. I thought it'd be kind of a humorous sort of subject to that, and yeah.
It's really funny because that stuff I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I have a practical.
I think a lot of people probably can.
I have a practical story for you.
Okay.
A guy that I grew up with, we met each other when we were 14 years old. First day of high school, and we became instantaneous friends.
Okay.
And we've been friends ever since, and you played at our birthday party. Don't say his name.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Don't say his name, okay?
I know exactly. Yeah, that was fun.
So here's the whole thing. He had, and still has, a really hot sister.
Okay.
Who always liked me.
Okay.
Right? But I never wanted to cross that line because he was my best friend.
Right.
So crossing the line of dating his sister.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I'm like, I can't do that. This is like my brother's sister. She's like family. She's more family to me.
Yeah.
Than she is someone that I would really want to. And again, if I got romantically involved with her and it didn't work out, then what would that do to our friendship?
Well, that's just it. You wouldn't know, right?
Well, him and his sister were always really close, right?
Yeah.
But anyways, long story short, I never did, and it was really funny because when we're planning our birthday parties, I'm not going to say what year, how old we were when we planned the party, but
right.
The funny thing about it was, hang on a second, come to the end. It kind of speeds up at the end.
Yeah.
And was that an intentional speed up on the song at the end?
Yeah, we wanted to kind of punk it up all of a sudden at the end.
It's pretty cool how you ended that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyways, I never did cross that line. Anyways, we're planning our birthday parties, and he said, well, why didn't you date her? And I'm like, dude, it's your sister. I you know what? There's something inside of me that always felt that wouldn't be right.
Yeah.
So
look at you with your morals.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't always the most moral person when I was younger, right? I did a lot of things that I probably...
Morals are for suckers, man. No, I'm just kidding. I think that's awesome. I think that's awesome.
My brother's got an old story. My brother said to me one time before, he said, if I knew I was going to live to be this old, I would have taken better care of myself when I was younger.
Oh, yeah, right? I know. I'm kind of feeling that now lately. I'm getting up there.
Yeah, it happens.
Like my body's starting to remind me, like, dude, you got to slow down. You're not as young as you used to be.
Slow down. Okay, we're going to play cut number 4, Stick With You. What's that about?
Oh, yeah, that's the fun one.
What's it about?
It's really about friends who stick around after, crappy stuff happens to you in life, and they're the ones that they're meant to be around
right
after, with the aftermath of things. So that's kind of what it comes down to. But this is a fun song because, I got to say this because kudos to Greg who did remember I was telling you how he brought the real drums in to replace right? He calls me up and he goes, I hate you. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, you're doing triplets to this entire song. And I have to replace every one of them. So he had to replace stuff. So I'm like, sorry, man, I wasn't expecting us to do this.
That's crazy. That's
anyways,
crazy.
Yeah.
All
enjoy.
Right. Well, we're going to play. It's called Stick With You. I'm going to crank this one up.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm going to mute myself.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Sticks with you every time your friends are bringing you down to the place where people go, where no one dares make a sound.
got Stick With You. I'm going to just back out of this screen here, go back over here, put Shane back up on the big screen here with me. And so I'm just going to go back over to the full screen. Hey, look at that. It's just you up there right now, man. I'm playing, I'm doing the Waldo thing again. I'm like,
oh, okay.
I'm up over your left shoulder. If you look, you might see me. No, maybe not.
Oh, I see it. I know I see it now.
There you go. Where's Waldo?
Where's
Waldo?
Where the hell is Carmen San Diego?
All right, so I'll go back to the
The
gallery
world is Carmen
We're
San
back to
Diego.
the gallery view. This is the Peanut Gallery with Shane and Ken. There we go. We're back to the Peanut Gallery, just you and I now. All right. So that was a tune called "Stick With You," and what we're going to do tonight is we're going to play half the album because it's like 12. It's like 12 tracks. You gave people their money's worth on this one.
Oh yeah, man. It's they're short songs, but they're fun.
And there's a couple of tracks on that didn't make it on this album that's going on your follow-up EP, right?
Yeah. So like I said, we're redoing this whole 5-song EP from scratch.
Right.
But we've also written some new stuff.
Right.
And which is going to be really, really fun and cool because it's always exciting with new stuff.
Right.
And then we're also bringing back, I think we're going to be bringing back a couple of songs 3 actually in total, because there was 2 that didn't go on the original album.
Right.
Because we were just running out of time. It was just taking too long. So like, you know what? Let's just make it a 12-song CD and 14. And we went with that. So we're going to bring those 2 back. And then there was another ballad, kind of a power ballad that was supposed to go on the 5-song EP, which was supposed to be a 6-song EP.
Right.
But once again, we were like, we just want to get these songs out, blah, blah, blah. So now that we have this time and we're redoing that stuff anyway, we figured it'd be a good time to bring that stuff back. So
now it's and we did like a remaster on the master, and in July of 2020, you guys actually re-released a tune called Tiff.
Yeah.
And that's on the EP.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's off the EP.
So what you're telling me is what you're going to produce is actually better than this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna play Tiff now.
Like Lars just sent me the tracks without drums the other day. And it's already sounding like 100 times better. So
right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Tiff tonight.
Yeah.
And then when you guys re-release it, re-record it, and re-release it, then we're going to play it on the show again.
Right. Yeah.
And
sounds
then
good to me.
And then what we're going to do is we're going to play both the tracks back to back.
Okay.
And then here's what we could do.
Okay.
We could get, I don't know, maybe something you guys might want to think about. You got, do you have a high-speed copy, or can you copy some CDs?
Oh yeah, I can do that.
So why don't you make up like a numbered set of CDs, right?
Yeah.
And for the people that can guess which recording is which, you'll send them a CD.
That might be scary because we'll put all this extra work into it, and then everyone's like, "Oh, I really like that one recording." It's like, "That's the old one, you bastards."
It's gonna be better. It's gonna. Well, you know what? Listen. Okay, here's the deal. We won't play it unless it's gonna be better.
Place your bets.
It's gonna be better. Okay. Well, I'm gonna play Tiff right now.
It will be better. Honestly, like I'm not even questioning that. Because like I said, like, I mean, it's not that it sounds bad. Like I said, it's good for a DIY, like a do it yourself for sure. But we know that if we didn't have such a bad recording to start with,
right,
we know for a fact, just with a good recording, it's going to sound better regardless of, you know what I mean, of how much work we put into this stuff.
Right. So here's
like,
the funny thing.
It well, everything. It's just the quality of sound sucked.
Yes, it did. No, it didn't. So, not really.
Well, I mean, compared to what it could be,
I guess.
Like,
I remember.
I guess we're our toughest critics, right? So
I remember we made a correction on the artwork on this one, and I got the artwork up there right now so people can see it. Right? And
yeah, man, it's the artwork so well done. So our last bass player, Mark Newcomb, he plays the Mad Mox. He's a little plug for them. he does graphic art, and he did this for us. So we decided to go with this kind of comic book. So each song gets this kind of its own special cover.
Has he thought about doing this kind of work for other bands? Because
Well,
it's really good.
I think that's what he does. But I mean, he should definitely. And he does all the stuff like that for Mad Moxies too.
Oh, he should put a portfolio up on Facebook because it's well done.
It's so good. Like just where he placed everything. Like it's awesome. He did a good job.
Now, do you
the
remember?
video's really good of Tiff too. Like that's all him as well, mostly, right? Like, it tells a little story. It's all like done like a comic book with us in it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Do you remember why there were the 2 edits? I can't remember.
What on the photo?
Yeah,
like the picture. I think it was the size or something.
Oh, right. It was
and then Mark, because I sent you what Mark sent me, and then Mark didn't realize you needed a smaller, bigger.
That's right. It was resizing.
Right. So it was a resizing issue we had.
Right.
And we figured it out. Like we just sent you the right size after that.
Yeah, and the way we have when we submit the JPEG for the record stores, some of them are really, really picky. And even if the artwork, if they can tell the artwork is intentionally blurry, they'll let it go.
Right.
But if the artwork has actually simply just been enlarged and not properly enlarged,
right,
they'll reject the artwork.
Yeah, because if you just enlarge it, that's one thing, but you need to resize it.
Yeah, if you don't resize it appropriately. And so, and of course, they like everything high res, 3,000 by 3,000 megapixels, which is that's a pretty big JPEG.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big JPEG file, but I guess it's so they can fit it on their format, whatever. So I'm going to spin TIFF right now.
Okay. Cool.
Do you want to give us a little bit of a I don't know intro to the song?
So with TIFF, it's just really about having those arguments where you're blamed for things, but really it's the other person that's kind of to blame, and it's a tiff, right? Like we all have them. And so, yeah, it's literally about an argument really. And just like how you're pissed off that they can never admit they're wrong sort of thing. And that can go 2 ways. I'm not saying it's about a person. It could be about me. I'll let you guys say for that. But regardless, that's what it is. Tiff.
Yeah. And sometimes you think you're right. And then sometimes it takes a while later on and you go, that's
just it. That's just it.
I didn't have that quite right.
When you're in the moment, it's hard for you to see things from someone else's perspective sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when you take that time to kind of reflect on that, then you realize that, yeah, you know what, maybe you were right or I was wrong or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, there's an emotional investment in everything, and sometimes things happen, and we wrote a song like that. It's called Out of Hand, and it's when things get really out of hand.
Right.
And then you start saying all kinds of unkind things. The song that we wrote actually sounds like it's actually a physical fisticuffs, but it's not.
But it's not, yeah.
It's physical fisticuffs because you're throwing words at one another.
Yeah. Words as weapons. Sure.
And the idea behind the song is like you might as well be hitting each other because your words are hitting each other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Good.
Well, this is more about too, like being blamed for things that you didn't, like that didn't happen.
It's outside of my control.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know the gun was loaded.
Yeah. I may have bought the bullets, but I didn't load the gun.
All right. This is TIFF from July 2020. Here we go.
Okay, cool.
Apologize 'cause we had a tip. going on with the break. Keep it moving, it keeps them turning. Something's bound to break. Oh, break. Something strange going on with the break. You keep it moving, it keeps them turning. Something's bound to break. Something strange going on. You keep it moving, it keeps them turning. Something's bound to break. Oh, break.
All right, that's Tiff. That is was a re-release from July of 2020. That's a re-release of the song. You guys, did you remix it and master it? How did that go down?
Yeah, we once again we learned so much over. That was the first song we mixed when we did this EP. So the first one, that's when you're doing all your. I know what I'm doing. I think I know it. And by the time you get to the fifth song, you've learned so much, and you want to go back and redo the first one again, because you're just going you're going to be able to make it sound better.
Right.
So that's kind of what we did. We went back and said, no, this is like this last song we did sounds so much better than the first one. And then, and as they progressed, they got better and better and better. Right. So we just went back and redid them. But then Lars was finishing up the last one, I think.
Right.
And that's when he contacted me. He said, no, this album can sound so much better.
So when you guys recorded that album, you actually recorded it in your jam space, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we had shared a space with another band, and when we left there, we were leaving, not like we didn't stay there very long. Right. So we knew we only had a limited amount of time to record too, right?
Right.
Plus, in the building it's in, there's a lot of other bands.
There's a story behind that too, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. So, there's this band across the hall, and they I think they were just instrumental, but really loud. Like they were so loud sometimes that honestly, we would be in the practice room across the hall, both doors shut, and we couldn't hear each other, like over their music, not our music. Like we weren't even playing. We were like just setting up, and we're talking in here.
So is this a building with rehearsal studios?
Yeah. So a lot of different rehearsal spaces here. And like I've been in that building forever with different bands, like since the 90s, early 90s. Right. So anyways, we would find ourselves like they were always jamming the same nights we had the room, right?
Right.
So, and we had to record these drums. So we had some cushioning around the drums to kind of dampen the sound, but they'd still be like crazy, especially with the other band playing. So we would literally have to wait until they would go have a smoke or something. I'd be like, okay, hit record. And then like, all right, go to town. And then that's what I'm saying. We were so rushed with this project.
That's crazy.
That we just we got everything recorded. We'll worry about that in the editing room. And we'd have to edit it in the editing room. And that's pretty much what it came down to. That's why it took so long. Yeah.
Wow. So it's funny because I I've never been in that position where I've had to rent a jam space.
Right.
Like I've always had a space to play music. And of course, that was why I built the studio here, because I always want, and of course, all of our band jams, all of our recording for our band is all done here in the studio.
Right.
And I feel very fortunate compared to a lot of people because, you know, in those jam spaces, you would either have to cart in your own equipment every time, right?
Yeah, well, it depends. Like, I mean, you pay like a monthly rent and you can keep your stuff in there, right? If you're sharing a room, the band is always like, okay, can we just share the drums or whatever? But for the most part, we've never really shared a room. We've usually had our own, so we've been fortunate that way. So we can like keep a lot of our stuff stored there. Like basically, we leave our drums and amps. You know, bring our guitars with us.
Let me ask you a question, and you can take the Fifth Amendment on this, even if you're not American. Right?
Okay. I appreciate that.
So would you advise against someone sharing a kit with another band?
I think it depends on how much you like that drum kit.
Okay.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, because if your practice kit is the same kit you gig with, or it's your favorite kit or whatever,
right,
things can happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that like anyone who wrecks an instrument for the most part isn't doing it on purpose.
Nope.
You know, and accidents happen all the time. And that's like me saying, you know, having a freaking awesome guitar that's like $5,000 or something.
Yeah.
And the guy saying, hey, you know, instead of me lugging my guitar, I mean, it's still a little different. I shouldn't compare the two, because I mean, lugging drums around and setting that up is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, ideally, if you're going to share a room with another band, come to some compromise with drums, because we all know that drums are a pain in the ass to carry around and set up.
Yeah,
and you don't every time you go to practice, because you're wasting time, right? So
here's my recommendation. If it's just a jam space, you're not gonna. Now you guys did some recording in your jam space, right?
Yeah.
And you guys actually brought in your own drum kit when you did that, right?
No.
Oh, it
was Dale Penny, awesome dude.
Yeah.
Awesome drum, awesome dude. It was his kit.
Okay.
That we used. I think Chris brought in his cymbals and stuff.
Oh,
and
Dale would have really nice stuff.
Oh yeah. It was his practice. I think it was his practice kit actually, but it was still really good.
Yeah.
And Dale was totally cool with it. Dale's a good dude. He's like, we were fortunate enough to have someone but there's some people who'd be like, no way, you're not using my stuff. And I get it. If you have a big enough room, then, you know, both of you bring your drum kit in, right? Put them on either corner or whatever. And if you're splitting the room, sometimes that works too.
I got a quick story for you about that, about Dale.
Okay.
Well, one night, they were playing up at the back alley.
Okay. Which band?
How's that?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They played up at the back alley, and he accidentally left one of his toms at the venue, and forgot it till the next day. Didn't realize he didn't pick it up. Right. Missed it till the next day. Bobby found it.
Right. Yeah. Bobby. Yeah.
And put it aside for him. Right.
Yeah.
So the next time they come there to gig, I'm there with Bob that night.
Yeah.
Right. And he comes walking in, and I goes, oh, here's your tom. Right. He freaking grabs me and bear hugs me. As if I was the one that found the drum, right? And he's hugging me, go, oh man, he says, I thought I'd lost this forever. He says, I had no idea where it was, and I thought somebody actually walked out the door with it, right?
Jesus.
You remember during that time there was some thefts from venues where people were stealing people's guitars and shit like that, right?
Yeah, I know.
And there was I remember somebody in London, somebody actually broke in the back end of their car and stole a whole bunch of equipment out of it, right? It was
happening like crazy. It felt like almost every day someone's shit was being taken.
Yeah, I remember all the posts going on Facebook about it, and people posting about getting equipment stolen, right?
Yeah.
So he was so grateful to get this back. He gives me a massive hug, right? As if I'm the one that actually found it. I mean, I didn't find it. It was Bob.
Yeah. It's so fun.
A funny thing is, I don't remember him hugging Bob. That's the funny part about
Bob
it.
spoiled again.
Well, I don't know. I just and I think Bobby just said to me, he said, you want to grab that and give that to Dale when he
He
comes
was probably
in.
busy setting up or something. Bob
Yeah,
was.
he was busy setting up, and he said, do you mind just giving this to Dale when he comes in? That way, it'll be a big load off his mind. I think he ended up going over and thanking Bob later, right? But Bob's a pretty,
Oh, Bob's an awesome dude.
yeah, that's just what I do kind
Great
of shit.
sound man. Great sound man.
Yeah, and he would say, well, that's just what I do, right?
Yeah. He's a very accommodating sound man for sure.
Yeah, he's a pretty good dude, and he's got a good ear for your live mix, right?
Oh, absolutely does.
And,
he's a great ear for that.
And here's
every time we played at the back alley, we've always had a good sound.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. He is if you go to a full production, like a big professional production, right?
Yeah.
You've got a front of the sound, front of the venue sound engineer.
Yeah.
And you've got a separate engineer that does the stage mix.
Right.
And Bob really depends a lot on the feedback that the artists give him about what they need in their stage mix.
Yeah, for sure.
The only thing he tells people on the stage is that keep your mix as low as you can. Let me do the rest.
Yeah.
Right.
As long as we can hear ourselves on stage.
Yeah. So he said, he said, your loudest instrument is what?
The drums.
Right. So he said, be as loud as the drums, but remember, you don't have to be loud, but you don't have to be louder than the drums. Right.
Right. Exactly. You just have to have, be able to hear yourself.
He used to have guitar players, right, that would come up to him and go, you're not putting me in the mix. And Bob says, I don't need to put you in the mix. I can hear you loud and clear in the front of the house mix. You might not, if you want to hear what you sound like in the mix, ask me to put it in your monitor.
Yeah. Then that's how you know.
Yeah.
But
the thing is,
sound, what you hear on stage is not going to be what they hear out in the audience.
No, you can make it somewhat like that.
Yeah, well, through monitors, though, right? Because you get mixed and put into the monitors. That's what they're hearing. They're going to hear the live that way.
Well, and the great thing about
if your amp's right beside you, right, you're obviously going to hear that over the bass that's across the way, right?
The great thing about that sound system, though, in that particular venue, is it has the capability of sending 4 separate mixes.
I know.
Right. So you can.
Yeah. I love playing the back alley.
Yeah, as a singer there, yeah, and I think East Side Bar and Grill's the same way.
Yeah, it's pretty much the exact same way. That's a good place. That's a great place to play too.
They can send you a custom mix. Now you've played both of those venues, right? And they're both great live venues, right?
They're both amazing. Like they're pretty much set up the identical.
Definitely.
Other than different things, but yeah, both stages are and both sound.
Right.
The guys that sound there, like Mike, he's awesome too. Like just really good stuff.
We got a comment on here from Rich Maidman. He says, I have to worry about JPEG size. Dang, I just wanted to be a songwriter.
Size doesn't always matter, dude.
It does. I put on there size counts, bro. LOL.
Especially with JPEGs.
With JPEGs, yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we digress there for a moment, and we're going to go on to the next track, and it's Show.
Oh, Show, yeah. This is a good. I like this tune. It's fun.
What's it about?
It's literally about empty promises and not being there when you say you're going to be.
So like a no-show.
Yeah, no-show. Exactly.
Right. We used to have those. We used to have those when I worked at the hospital. We had appointments called no-shows.
Right. Yeah.
You make an appointment for somebody, and they wouldn't show for the appointment. It was always a bit discouraging because we oftentimes people would say, "Well, why do you double book patients?" And we honestly tried to double book patients because
there's so many no-shows.
oh yeah, so many no-shows.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised that when people are saying, oh, I need an appointment for this, I need an appointment for this, you give them an appointment, but they don't show for it.
Yeah.
And they don't even call you to cancel the appointment or rebook it so that you can give their appointment slot to somebody else. So what you do?
Let's hunt them down and force them.
You just double book.
You're supposed to be at the hospital right now.
And then
come with me.
Bad case scenario, everybody shows up on the same day. Right? Worst case scenario. All right, so we're going to play show right now.
Yeah, we are.
I'm just going to go to the track here and cue it up. Here it is.
We're good?
It's on.
All right. I'll be back.
All right, that is show. That is by Coaching For Sara. Those guys are in London, Ontario, Canada. I'm gonna pop.
I'm not there right now, though.
I know you're not. You're up in Walkerton, Ontario.
I am in good old hometown Walkerton, Ontario, right now. Yeah.
Now I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. Here's a funny. Did you live in Walkerton during the Walkerton water crisis?
I did not.
Okay.
I was in London.
What about your mom?
But I was here the weekend before the news broke, actually, on Monday.
Right.
And it was really bizarre because I had just been here and it was summertime. And so my mom still lived here. My brother and his family lived right beside her. And so my nieces, who are now like 30 and 27 or 28 now, they were pretty young at the time. And I remember them playing in the water and stuff, like drinking from the water hose too, right? And then Monday happens and the news is out that all this stuff's happening with the walking in water. So they're the first people I thought of, obviously, because I actually saw them do it too. And they never got sick. So really weird. No,
wow.
which was really strange. And like 8 people died from that. It was intense. So my brother he was sick for 2 weeks. And I don't know if my mom ever got sick or not.
Yeah.
And
So okay. So here, let me tell you a quick story.
Crazy.
I was working in Owen Sound at the time,
okay, yeah,
and I was working for the County of Grey,
right,
and I ran a long-term care facility up there.
right. That's right. You were telling me about that.
Yeah, and I remember us sending them some supplies and stuff like that to the nursing home there, and I remember in one of the nursing homes, they literally this happened like in cold weather.
Okay.
And as I recall, and I remember
wait, the water?
Yeah.
No, it was in the summertime.
Yeah, but didn't it start out in cooler weather?
I don't believe so.
Oh man.
Because I remember because I was home for the weekend and I remember seeing my nieces drinking from the water hose playing outside.
Right.
And then the next day, like the Monday, I was like, holy crap, like, what's going on? And they never got sick from it, which was really surprising. I thought for sure they were going to get sick.
Right.
And they didn't. And they were young too. They were like 5 and 3.
Yeah. So it started May 12th of 2000.
Right.
And here's the funny thing. And I just pulled it out of the Wikipedia thing. Walkerton E. coli outbreak was the result of a contamination of the drinking water supply of Walkerton, Ontario, Canada, with E. coli and Campylobacter bacteria. E. coli. Then the water supply was contaminated as a result of improper water treatment and heavy rainfall. And there was a whole lot of stuff that happened. And people lost their lives as a result of that.
Yeah, 8 people died.
Yeah, and so it happened. Like it happened. I think that the first case. So they think this might have been going on for a while. That the water treatment supply wasn't actually being properly treated. They thought it was like for a while. And I remember I was working at the facility, and they sent me. We kept getting these updates from public health every day, right? About what was going on over there. Mm. And I remember one of the nursing homes, they actually had water coming in from fire hydrants.
Right.
But sorry, not fire hydrants, from water trucks.
Right.
So they could bath people. Because they couldn't even bath people in that water.
No, I know. You had to boil all the water, like to even shower.
Yeah, it was like a boil water advisory, and it was like really bad.
Boil the water to have a shower or a bath, because like the running water, it's poison.
And here's the interesting thing they learned about it at the time. So that's when they learned that 70% alcohol would kill E. coli.
Right.
Because they couldn't figure out why this thing sort of kept spreading, right?
Yeah.
Because everything was contaminated. I remember them having to change plumbing pipes and flush pipes.
Oh, yeah. They had to do so much. Like, I mean, and that's when COVID came out. I said, you've got nothing on me. I grew up in Walkerton.
Yeah, man.
I've been drinking that shit since 74.
Exactly.
No.
It was a crazy time. And like I said, I remember I was working up in Owen Sound at the time.
Then to raise money for that, they actually had the watershed festivals here every year.
Right.
The 2 week, I think it was a 2-day festival every year in the summer. And they had some pretty big names play here, like Bare Naked Ladies, Blue Rodeo, Watchmen, I think played. Like there was just a bunch of bands, a lot of big country fans, stars too.
That's pretty cool.
They did that for 3 years, and it was really awesome.
Right.
It was like a big reunion almost, though, right? Like, but we bring in like, I think 30,000 people
right
to this concert. It was huge. I think it was that much. Is it that much? It could have made me love the last.
Now
either way, we're a town of like 2,500 people.
So how long does it take you to drive to London? How long does it take you to drive to London?
A little under 2 hours.
So from my place to Walkerton's about 2.5.
Yeah.
Because there's not like depending if you want to go through London, it might be a little shorter. I hate driving through London. I don't like the traffic in London.
Oh, and horrible drivers in London.
Yeah, especially when I go up through on my motorcycle, because people in London don't really watch for motorcycles very
No,
well.
no, they don't. No, they don't.
So I usually end up taking all the country roads that wind around, and then take my leisurely time, and then
Yeah.
if I'm in Walkerton and I know you might be there, I call you.
I know.
And so
I know. You come to my work sometimes where you just come in for a beer or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because when you were working at Krabby Joe's, I'd pop in there and see you there, right?
Well, now I'm at Chuck's, so it's not Krabby Joe's anymore. It's at Chuck's Roadhouse.
You're working at Chuck's
So
Roadhouse.
That's where I am now.
Right.
Yeah. So same spot, same place that you used to come, but I'm working there now. So
Very cool.
yeah. And I'm working on. I wanted to I meant to tell you too. We're working on new stuff. Well, other than Coaching For Sara.
Right.
So I've teamed up with a friend of
tell
mine,
me about that.
and yeah, she's just a really good singer. So I had some stuff written in my head anyway, and I've heard her sing before.
What's what do you guys call yourselves again?
He said, she said.
Right.
And we just work really well together. We're very creative with each other, and she just has a really good voice. So I really wanted to still writing the stuff for Coach For Sara and everything, but I wanted to kind of do other stuff, kind of explore a little bit more with that. So
okay, so which he said, she said are you on here?
On where?
Well, there's a whole bunch of I find other he said, she said.
Yeah, you're not going.
links.
You're not. Yeah, it's for some reason it's not able to be brought up, and I don't know why. I've got to go check out the settings. Go into YouTube though.
Oh, maybe have you published it? Maybe the page.
Yeah, of course. I've published it because people have liked it and stuff.
That's weird.
So I don't know why it doesn't come up though.
Hang on a second. I'm just gonna do a general search for he said. You guys are in a private group, right?
I don't believe it's private. Shouldn't be private. No. But either way.
Hey, so it's definitely not this one here that says he said, she said, private group, 353 members. This group is for adults. Adults have a sense of humor. A group.
wait, that is us.
No.
No, but we're a duet right now. We're doing some covers, but we're doing a lot of really cool original stuff.
Right.
And it's really made me a better musician for sure. Cause I'm out of my box. Right. So I'm exploring a little bit more with stuff. And I just had her voice in mind for when I wrote some of this stuff. Cause she's a theatrical performer. Right. So she's got a very pretty voice.
Right. And your writing partner, you got a writing partner, right?
Yeah, she's been writing some stuff too, and it's just working out really well. So, and we're bringing in other musicians too to kind of put parts in there as well. So
right.
We're in the process of hopefully got about 4 or 5 songs now. So we're working on maybe an EP or something. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, I have to head out soon though because I'm old and I have a meeting tomorrow morning. But
you got a work related meeting tomorrow?
Yeah, I got a work meeting tomorrow.
Have you got a photo up there of you and your friend?
Of Jessica?
Yeah. I'm on your page right now.
On my page?
Yeah, no, is it on your page?
No, it'll be on the He Said She Said page. Hold on, I'll send it to you.
Oh, but you don't have anything on.
No, okay, I think it's on our page.
Well, send it to me in Messenger, and I'll see if I can pull up the link.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So we can share it with people, right?
I'm going to do it.
Oh, you were awesome, dude. I'm gonna play Waldo with you again. Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? Oh, it says low system resources. Yeah, my CPU's been like cranking at 100% all night here.
Right.
I'm going to be able to fry some pancakes when I'm done.
That's what I want.
All right. So, did you send it yet?
I'm looking for it here. Hold on. Unbelievable.
Yep.
Here we go.
Did you find it?
I'm looking for it. Hold on.
I'm
We don't
playing.
have a lot of pictures on here.
I'm playing. Where's Walt? You know what? Why don't you look for that, and I'll spin a track. Okay.
Sure.
I'm gonna play Matter of Time. Here we go.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Nobody's safe this time. Nobody wants to lose control or how they want to be. Nobody escapes this time. Nobody wants to lose their head. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before you walk like a bomb inside you. This feeling is setting in. Take a bill of fire to calm you, 'cause they say it's just not like you or how you're supposed to be. They all want to destroy you, but you won't let them harm you. Take your will to be. It's just a matter of time before you go off like a bomb inside you. This feeling is setting you. It's just a matter of time before you go off like a bomb inside you. This feeling is setting you. It is in now. It is in now. It is in now. Just a matter of time before you go off like a bomb inside you. This feeling is setting you. Just a matter of time before you go off like a bomb inside you. This feeling is setting you. It is in now. It is in now. It is in now.
That is Matter of Time. That is Coaching for Sara from London, Ontario. So you can buy their music wherever music is sold on the internet. I saw it, it's up there. There's a picture of the two of you there together, which is a cool picture. And I like how you guys met. You guys were like, you guys met, and you met her and her husband, right?
Yeah. So when I moved back to Walkerton, I got the job at Krabby Joe's, and one of the other servers I worked with, just small talk, was like, "Hey, so do you like being back up here?" And I said, "Well, yeah, but I don't know a lot of musicians around the area, whatever." She's, "Oh, I got to introduce you to my friends."
Right.
So she introduced us to Jessica and her husband Nico, and they're both great, talented musicians. So then we just talked, and she sent me some of her stuff that she'd sang, and yeah, and then I just thought, well, hey, yeah, she's got a great voice.
Who's responsible for the artwork there?
Oh, that stone work.
Yeah. Who
Yeah,
did that?
that was me, but it was inspired by her, because she does a lot of that sort of art.
Okay.
Herself. And she showed me some of her stuff, and she knew I was an artist, and I said, that's really, really cool.
Right.
So I thought, kind of as a homage to our new partnership or whatever, I made her that. So, and then we thought it would be kind of cool to have that as our kind of logo or whatever. So yeah, that's where that all started from. I was inspired. I've never done the stone art stuff before, so that'd be kind of fun to do.
It is really cool. Yeah. It's really well done. I'm just gonna see if I can. I'm gonna exit this, and now I'm gonna put it up there.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Why isn't this wanting to minimize. There we go. I minimize it off there, but there it is. He said, she said. And you guys, I've got a page on Facebook. You guys are starting to put stuff up on YouTube too, apparently?
Yeah, well, we have like one of our originals on there. It was Butterfly Lullaby. It was the first one I wrote for this project.
What the hell's with the monkey?
Oh, those are just pictures of us. We were working on a song, and she all of a sudden brought out her Snapchat, and this monkey thing came out, and it was like on my shoulder. And that was just our reaction when the monkey first came on. It was like perfect. It was just so we had to put it up there.
That is so bizarre, man.
Yeah, we've got two, actually only 2 songs, 2 videos on there right now.
Right.
One's our original, Butterfly Lullaby.
Yeah.
And it was our first run through it. But that's one where it's actually coming along really well.
And
we do a cover of Fountains of Wayne's Hack and Sack.
Right. And what's her name?
Jessica Bedard.
Oh, she's on there right now.
She's
watching us.
Say hi.
She's watching us. It says Jessica Bedard Masse is watching with you now.
Yeah.
She thought she could sneak on quietly, but she didn't.
She didn't.
No, she didn't sneak on quietly. Probably just checking up and make sure.
Yes.
You better mention that project, dude.
We could even have us on this show sometime too. We'll talk our stuff and maybe even do a couple tunes too. It's fun. She was just over here. She was just over here today actually, and we worked on some of our covers and stuff. So we got to figure out something to do on the and I don't know. It's really weird. My when you're looking at my T-shirt, my shirt here, is the roots backwards? Not on Zoom, it's not.
Okay.
But I'll check on Facebook here.
Is it backwards on Facebook?
I don't know.
It looks backwards on Facebook.
I don't know. I will find out.
I bet you it is.
Yep. It sure is.
It's backwards. Okay, hang on a second. I'm going to flip. I'm going to do something here. Hang on a second.
Okay.
There, change that around. We'll try that. There we go. Okay, I must have accidentally. We've been left orientation tonight, okay. But hey, what the hell? So I did find your page, and here's how I found it. I'm going to tell you how I found your page. It's kind of cool how I found it. Well, let me tell you how. Let me see. Gallery view. Oh, exit full screen. This is still weird. Oh yeah, there. I got us kind of there. You're on the top there. I'm kind of down there. I kind of changed things around. Anyways, when I found he said, she said, what I actually ended up doing was I just typed in he said.
Okay.
And then it popped up, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now here's a funny thing.
I wonder what that is.
So I got to tell you some cool some cool things. So here. The first one that's up there is he said, and it says this page is used for display of poems about 4 different stages of relationships. Stage 1 being the attraction stage, and the second being whatever, right? Then the second he said, and another one that comes up is said, he said, right?
Okay.
And then there's another one called he said, this is our generation, we'll create it our way. And then you guys, your page shows up in the search saying, he said, she said, but you don't, there's not a description about your page.
Like right, I don't have one in there.
Yeah, you guys got to put a tagline in.
Yeah, well, we're pretty new. We're not, we want to make sure that we kind of put something out there just for now, for fun.
Right.
And we want to make sure we have all our ducks in a row, if you will, before we really hardcore promote our stuff.
So did you paint that on stone?
Yeah, those are stones.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man. And
all right, dude. I don't want to cut you off. Or
no problem. You're heading out.
I do have to go, unfortunately.
Right. Well, I wish you well, my friend. Thanks thanks for coming by tonight. I'm going to probably spin a couple more of your tunes. Because,
please do. Please do.
I'm going to do that. Let me just get back over here to our chat so that I can properly say let's depart. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
There we go. All right. You can say goodnight to everybody. Shane Sawyer from
Coaching For
Sara. Got a meeting tomorrow, or we'd be on here maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But we got started late tonight. And that was
Yeah, we did start late.
we did get started late tonight. So
Yeah.
I want to thank you for joining me tonight, Shane, and
Thank you.
we'll chat at you later, buddy.
For sure.
You can hang up, and then I will.
All right.
I'm going to hang by here because I think I still have to use the Zoom deal. So you can just leave I think there's an option there for you to leave the meeting. Is that correct?
Okay. Yeah, it does give me that option.
All right, man.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming out, and we will talk to you later. Peace. Thanks, Ken.
Everybody.
Later, buddy.
See you later, man. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So that was Shane, our friend Shane Sawyer from Coaching for Sara. And I don't know why my cheeks have a peak tinge to them tonight, but they do. All right. So I'm going to spin one more tune for you, and then I'm going to say goodnight. This is a tune off their first album. And this is actually, I'm going to play one that's a little bit different off here. And it's track number 11 called Little Lady. And we're going to finish tonight with that one. Oh, God, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. That happened last time, and I went to close a window, and I actually closed the player. Little Lady, here we go. That's called Little Lady. That is by Coaching for Sara. They're from London, Ontario. If you want to catch more of their stuff, you can buy it. You can buy it. I would suggest you download it rather than stream it. It pays the artists exponentially more dollars when that happens. And of course, that helps fund these people because, they work hard to bring music to you, and we want to make sure they get remunerated for their art, and we want to make sure that people following them will actually help support what they do. And there's no greater way of supporting someone than to buy something that's cheaper than a cup of coffee. In fact, I think I found that. Let me see. Somebody posted this the other day, and I thought it was really, really interesting. And I think before I go, it's definitely worth sharing with you if I can find it. Let's see. It is called. It's in here somewhere. There it is right there. Yeah, I love this one. I'll move myself down here off the screen. This is cool. Respect the artist, buy the music. Problem, people are willing to pay $5, up to $5 for a cup of coffee that costs pennies to make, take minutes to repair, and is gone forever after one use. That's right, a cup of coffee is really gone forever after one use. And so when that happens, guess what? Right? It's gone. But music is a little different. Millions of people, interestingly enough, will not pay. They will not pay to download music. For $1, you can download a track that costs thousands to record, can be used over and over again, took years of practice to create, and lasts a lifetime. That's right, it lasts a lifetime. Music is a legacy that you can pass on to your friends, right? You can save those songs once you buy them and pay that personal licensing. You could use that as a legacy to pass on to other generations. And all you got to do is spend $1 or maybe even $1.29 to download a song, or you could download a whole album. I think this whole album, you can download it, the whole album off iTunes for, I believe, $10. So it's pretty reasonable. That's less than $1 a song when you figure it on a wholesale market that way. Anyways, that's it for me tonight. Thanks for joining me and coming by. It was a little bit longer tonight because we did have some technical difficulties, and we are still trying to figure out this whole thing. They're still trying to figure out this whole thing with, with this using Zoom. And we're still trying to figure out how to get better sound on the other end, and trying to decrease our CPU usage. And I've got some real CPU hogs here that I'm using, and I may have to think of some other ways of broadcasting to save on some resources. Anyways, have a good night, everybody, and have a great weekend. Maybe we'll be back Sunday night to play some of our tracks from last week's session. We got together for the first time in 2.5 months and put down some more tracks here in the studio, so who knows? Maybe we'll do that. Anyway, take care and have a great night, everybody. Now, if I can figure out how to get out of here, I want to leave the room. And I've got to get back to my broadcast software. There, have a great time, everybody.